All right, we're going to get right into speaking with Miss. Just stopping this music. Thank you so much for coming to be a part of the Bridge series. So happy to have Miss Sameera Lowe, the Executive Director of EO Nashville. EO is Entrepreneur Organization, and here for the Bridge series. Just tell a little bit about the Bridge series. It is my idea of having a bridge amongst all the different business ecosystem silos, bringing all of those pieces together so that we can have all the information for the entrepreneurs. Nashville is heavily programmed in that it has tons of programs for people who are pursuing entrepreneurship, small business, yet the different silos sometimes don't communicate and collaborate. And so I would like to come in, not to continue doing the education and support, because this organization, Started Right, is about education and support. But no, I need to be what needs to be. I need to be what Nashville needs, and that is to bridge. So
perfect.
I am interviewing all of these organizations and silos, and to just figure out a way after, you all coming in and understanding what I'm here to do and saying hello, hi. So but I also want other people to know you, because you have a certain group of people who know you, but other people may not know you. So the Startup Grind is a national, international organization. And so both the communities that I know, which because I'm bridging all of them, will get information about you and say, oh, we should know Sameera, and we need to see what's going on at EO Nashville and the organization, as well as the Catalyst program. So
perfect.
Tell us more about you, Sameera.
Sure. So let's see. I grew up near Memphis in a small town and went to school at UT Knoxville, and always wanted to move to Nashville. So I moved here in 94, and my degree was speech communications. So I pursued a career in PR and marketing and event planning, and jumped around a bit and landed at Comcast. It was initially intermedia and then AT&T and then Comcast. So I was there to launch the internet service for them. And I was there for 6.5 years, but really had the entrepreneurial bug. So I started my own company 19 years ago, and focused heavily on marketing and event planning, and then kind of eased into association management. I was introduced to EO, and they became a client of mine. And 17 years later, they have kind of taken over my world because it's thriving so. And it's been a wild ride, but really, really rewarding. It's been a really great fit.
Excellent. Wow. So you said a couple things there. You had the entrepreneur bug. Tell us about the entrepreneur bug.
Sure. So I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. I am, you probably wonder where I got this funky name. I'm half Lebanese, and my grandfather came over from Lebanon when he was 10 to follow his dad. And so they started Covington's first grocery store. It grew from there. And now there's 2 grocery stores, and now it's even bigger than it was before. But my dad also was an entrepreneur. He had several different businesses. And it's kind of always been in my blood. And I like the flexibility of being in charge of myself a lot.
That is something that people want, but let's talk about having the discipline it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. So before I joined Comcast, I was working from home. This was, before working from home was ever a thing. Probably, 23 years ago or something. But I, got up every morning, I showered, I got dressed, I sat in front of the computer, and, I didn't really allow myself to get distracted by laundry or dishes or whatever, because I really took it really serious. And then when I started my own company, I had that experience to draw from and really was highly motivated to make it work. I had my first of 3 sons at the time when I just started the company, and just, did not want to have to go back to an office setting. And, with Comcast, I was hardcore, kind of, 7 to 7 or 8 every day, and really just didn't want to go back to that kind of schedule with kids. So now I have 3 teenage boys, 19, 16, and 14, and it's still working out. So I think something went right.
Okay, so motivated not to go into a 9-to-5 because you were a new mom.
Right.
That is a story of several people. I mean, that is something that I think that I don't hear people say that much. That is one of their motivations, in which they wanted to be entrepreneur. They have the flexibility, but you also have the discipline to go to work. Also, you're teaching your kid, hey, it's time for work. I'm at work right now.
I just did that. I said, lock that puppy up. Mama's got some more work to do tonight.
Oh yeah, I have the puppy situation too. Like, come get them. Make them be quiet.
Exactly. She's a big barker every time the doorbell rings. So we gotta lock her up from time to time.
Yeah, I understand. Something you said was, you grew up with seeing it in your family, though, entrepreneurship,
Yeah,
which probably conditions you to be entrepreneurial.
right.
And I think that a lot of people who are first generation entrepreneurs then don't understand what it takes, but you already were conditioned to say, oh yeah, I get to have flexibility. Right. Also saying that you said Lebanese.
Yeah.
It's a different mindset, right? Can you talk more about that? Being that this is a international organization, talk about the mindset of that you glean. Are you gleaning from?
Absolutely. I mean, we came from nothing. My great grandmother died of starvation while she was waiting on my great grandfather to, bring her to the U.S. with him, because he went. Lebanon at the time was just in a complete crisis, not unlike about where they are now. But he came over to try to make money to send back to the family, to then bring the family over. And she was, just trying to keep her children alive, so she would give them the food and water instead of herself. And she did not make it. But we went from having nothing to, my grandfather worked so hard every day and ended up putting all 6 grandchildren through college. He insisted on, paying for all of us to go to UT, go Vols.
Really insisted.
Oh yeah. And I just think it really instilled in us just a real desire to work hard and give back. I mean, he was so generous, and if anybody was ever hungry and needed food, he was handing them groceries, and most of the time they didn't pay him back. And
absolutely beautiful. Oh wow.
So it's just it's an opportunity to do what you want to do, be in charge of your own schedule, and not having to ask off to go to a kid's basketball game or doctor's appointment or whatever. And but still be productive and happy. And I mean, it's just been a really excellent fit for me.
Wow. So I think people don't talk about the sacrificial generation.
Yeah.
That sets the stage for you to be able to have freedom, flexibility.
Yeah.
And also legacy. Like, he was building a legacy, and he already knew that's what's going to happen. And I'm sending you all to school. And so then you kind of have this, I got to succeed because
Right.
Set me up.
Exactly. And and I'll also mention, so my grandparents had 3 boys as well. And so my dad was the middle child, and he came out of the womb highly motivated and, just very much a leader. And he was in politics for 38 years. I was 2 when he got in. So he was here in Nashville. He was a state representative, and then he became Speaker of the House for 18 years. So he's another reason that I love Nashville and just I couldn't wait to move here.
Okay, wow. So it's so nice to learn these things about you. It makes people feel more connected to you and your story. So then you did 19 years of your own company. Tell me about some lessons that you learned in those 19 years of your working in your own company. And then what would make you go from your own company to being with EO Nashville? But are you still running your company as well?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're doing both.
They overlap. Yeah. So EO is technically a client, but I am their executive director, and it's very much, full time. So, but I do, I have the flexibility to take on more work if I want to, and bring on people to kind of manage the other work. And I've completely forgotten your initial question there about 19 years.
Yeah, so 19 years working in your own company, but really it's not 19. It's like 19 years before you decided to then also do 17 years with EO as the executive director. Right. So tell me some lessons learned, some things that you would give.
I was a big control freak for a really long time, and I could not delegate to save my life. And then I hired, my first, and I still just have 1099 employees, but they're amazing and wonderful and highly, motivated and dedicated and committed to all this. So I got really good at delegating. I still, take on a whole lot, probably too much, but having a team that you trust, and, I have their back, they have my back. And, we know each other. We knew each other before I hired them, but we were not the best of friends. We were acquaintances. And now we're just really, really tight. I never really wanted to work with friends, because that always just kind of scared me that I would, something would go wrong. But knock on wood, it's really been amazing, and it's been a special bond to be able to, support each other. We all have life events, death of parents, or sicknesses with ourselves or our kids, or whatever, and having a good solid team that you trust has been just made all the difference in the world.
Oh, wow. I definitely understand that. Yeah. So being a control freak, finally deciding to delegate, and then getting the right team. Exactly. How do you get the right team?
Well, it's funny you should ask. I have a secret sauce.
Ooh.
So actually, I have 3 people that kind of work under my umbrella, and all 3 were PTO presidents. So parent teacher organization presidents in the schools. And they are amazing, because they're so, they really get it. They understand different levels of, keeping people happy. You keep the principal happy, and the teachers and the parents, and, you know how to plan events, and how to communicate, and, raise money. And I mean, that skill set has been really transferable, and it was not intentional, but it has worked like a dream. Yeah.
All the PTO parents.
You better swipe them up. And they have time, because, they couldn't probably do that. They had a full-time job. So it's been wonderful.
Oh, that's a good tip. Good tip. Yeah. You're going to see people running to schools. Wait, who's your PTO president?
I know, if I don't get them first.
Oh, that's awesome. So then, tell me about being the executive director of EO Nashville. Tell us more about EO Nashville.
Sure.
And so, yeah.
So EO is a global organization. There are 15,000 members. There are over 200 chapters. Nashville's the largest U.S. chapter, and we're the third largest in the world. So it's Tokyo, Mumbai, and then Nashville. And we're really proud of that. We're not trying to just add a ton of members and just get bigger and bigger and bigger, but it's almost like the harder it is to get in, the more people want to be in, and it just continues to thrive. And Nashville's on fire, and it's kind of this perfect storm of have an executive director and a team that is really dedicated, having an amazing board that is super committed, being here in Nashville and having partnerships with people like the Nashville Entrepreneur Center and others. And then our Catalyst program that I know we'll talk about in a little bit, that's become quite a feeder for us. So it just is a perfect storm of, making our chapter really strong. And so to be a member of EO, you have to have a business with at least $1 million in annual gross revenue. You have to be the founder, co-founder, controlling shareholder of the company. And you have to want to learn and grow and not be a know-it-all. If you've got everything already figured out, EO is not the place for you. If you want to learn and grow and you understand you can learn from just about anybody, and you have confidence, but you can balance that with humility, then it's a great place for you. And people join EO because we have these small groups called forums, and they meet once a month. It's highly confidential. They're all trained on how to behave in a forum, and it's all based on Gestalt, which is experience sharing, not advice giving. And in addition to the forum meetings, we do amazing events all the time. We've done backstage at Bonnaroo, dinner on stage at Grand Ole Opry. We've raced race cars. We've done all these crazy, awesome events. We also bring in amazing speakers that maybe they couldn't get otherwise, just because we are so healthy and thriving. We have a lot of really great strategic alliance partners that help us as well. So since we are global, there's opportunities all over the globe.
Right.
We do leadership conferences all over. And before COVID, we had been to, Athens and Bangkok and Macau and, all over the world. We were supposed to go to Cape Town right when COVID hit. That was really a big bummer that we didn't get to go. But, hopefully things will continue to open up if the vaccination works out. And, we'll get back to some of these really amazing global perks.
So you talk about EO Nashville being the biggest chapter. So was it affected by, we had here in Nashville a double whammy of the tornado, and then we went into quarantine because of Corona. Have you all been affected in any way?
Oh yeah. We had 19 members that got hit by the tornado. So that was just devastating. And that was the only day, by the way, that I've sat in my pajamas all day and worked, because I was just crazy trying to, connect people with the right resources. And, we have 267 members. So a lot of members really pitched in to help those that were affected, with whether it's their business to help or just personal. So that was really awful. And then, I think they all were affected by the pandemic, some positively, many negatively, and we just immediately were surrounded by amazing support because we have amazing partners. We have law firms and banks and CPA firms and all these partnerships that we've pursued and really nurtured for a long, long time. And I don't think we could have gotten through it without their support. They surrounded them with incredible expertise immediately. So it was, here's what PPP is, here's how you do it.
Yeah.
Questions you've got to answer before you can fill out that paperwork. And,
right.
Here's some thoughts on how to keep employees happy, when you have gone virtual. And we just covered a million different topics just as fast as we could to give people what they needed when they needed it. And we posted it all online, and a lot of that stuff is still there. It's eonashville.com/united, because we wanted to share it with the community because it really was really good stuff. And we wanted to help any Nashville entrepreneur that, was out there and could use that intel.
You said eonashville.com/united.
/united. Yeah.
Okay. I put it in the chat for everyone, eonashville.com/united, and you put that out there for everyone to be able to see.
Right.
Excellent. I'll make sure that the community knows about going and looking at those resources. Awesome. Now, something that you mentioned was nurturing relationships. So when those things happened, you were nurturing the people who were members of EO Nashville, but you were able to nurture them by having already nurtured partnerships.
Right. Exactly. And we've had, I think we have the strongest partnership program of any EO chapter. I really do, because we've put a lot of time and effort into it, and we have just an extensive list of what they get. This is not a, hey, you pay $5,000, you can be a sponsor of this golf tournament. It's $15,000 minimum, but they get an entire year of amazing opportunities and events and chances to go speak to a group of 8 or a group of 30, or even higher if they have a topic that is going to be of interest to a big group. But it's a lot to try to explain, but it is really beneficial to them, and it's also beneficial to us. And it's never selling to our members. We're big on non-solicitation. It's always relationship building, sharing experience, sharing expertise, and that kind of thing. So it's really been a game changer here.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to you working and doing marketing and having your own business for so long, for those 19 years before you even came over to work with EO, because you know what to do in order to build these partnerships, and not let it feel salesy, but relationship, because that's the key to many things, which is one of the reasons why we're here right now, because trying to build a relationship within the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So we're winding down, and just wanted to ask you if for there's different stages to entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
What will be the target market for your organization? And then is there any opportunities for people who could get mentored from the people who are in your organization?
Yeah. So EO, you have to have at least $1 million in sales.
Mm-hmm.
But 11 years ago, we were really kind of wrestling with, what do we do with the entrepreneurs that are amazing out there that just are not quite there and need a little help? And so we created our own program here locally, and it's called Catalyst. And you may remember 11 years ago, Michael Burcham was opening the Entrepreneur Center. He was also a member of EO. So we had a really amazing meeting, and asked if he would be willing to teach some Catalyst classes, and having him as a resource has just been amazing. So we created Catalyst, and to be in Catalyst, you need a minimum of $250,000 in sales and want to grow your business. We actually have an event on Friday. For anybody who's interested, it's at noon. It's a virtual event to just find out more about it, because the classes start August 18th. And that program is, 12 classes taught by Michael Burcham. You get mentored. You get invited to lots of EO events. And then you also get a year of forum, very similar to the EO forum. So it's an 18-month program. And we've had almost 70 members of Catalyst that have gone on to join EO. And it's been a really great feeder. I mean, we have really kind of multiplied our female members and other diverse members as well. And we continue to really appreciate the opportunity to do that through the Catalyst program. It's held at the Entrepreneur Center. And so, we work well with them because we're there together. We have an office there as well. And so, you come up through in-flight, and then you join Catalyst, and then you join EO, and then you mentor those people.
Okay. Yeah.
But we have conversations with other groups in town as well. I just was talking to the Nashville Business Incubation Center, and
Yes.
we talked to Brain Trust and Launch Tennessee, and I mean, we're open to talking with anyone, because it is really important to find a way to support each other. We all kind of have differences and similarities, but Nashville is on fire, and there is room
It is.
for plenty of us. Yeah.
It's so on fire.
Yeah.
And you meet people and that you have to figure out where, like, I think that entrepreneurs sometimes don't know what stage they're in, where they belong, where they should go. They will see certain things and think, oh, right. And then, but they just need to be nurtured, going back to what you were talking about.
Yes.
Nurtured. Okay. You are here, you go here, and then we can track you up. So you all just letting you know who are listening. This is where you're going. Okay. You are going to EO Nashville. That's the place. That's top tier. That's where you need to go. So then also then you can give back to the other individuals who are in stage 1, stage 2.
Exactly.
Amazing. I so appreciate you being here and like talking through that, because I don't think people understand the progression of. So there is programming, but we need to know where to go first, where to go second, where I am in my business. I'm happy that you all are clear about the figures.
Right. Yeah. Well, you can't be all things to all people.
I mean, and you shouldn't be.
Right. Somebody else has got that. So
Speak. Got to stay in your lane. And that's one thing that I think that entrepreneurs sometimes are not clear.
Right.
Who your niche is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what you should be focusing in on and working on, which that's something that Michael Bertram will help you.
He will. Very quickly.
And so I personally went to the mini catalyst and was like, oh my goodness, I'm in the room. So I met Michael Bertram because he came to the civic leadership program with that I was in, and the Entrepreneur Center was starting at that time, and we was invited, and he gave us a talk, and some of the stuff that I saw there was some of the things that he continues to share with people. Yeah. And it's just absolutely amazing, but it can be overwhelming if you're not ready.
Right, exactly. And we have people that want to take it again and again and again. They don't want to just go through it once. They want to go through it again. We had a Catalyst reunion last night, and they were like, "Oh, I can go through it again. Sign me up." It was really kind of funny. So, and as a perk of EO membership, you can sit in on the Catalyst classes for free. And there's not an entrepreneur out there that would not benefit from the Catalyst classes. So most of our EO members have gone through the classes too.
Excellent. So now the reason I'm so great for you to be here, because now everybody can have their sights. Like, okay, now you can see where you're going.
Right.
It's clear.
Right. I love it.
It's clear. Do the steps you need to take in order to get there. That's vision planning, right? We want to get in the room with all the people who are in EO Nashville, because that's where you should be if you are really making moves in Nashville. So I know that personally, I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I'm not there yet, but I have my sights on it. And as long as I keep my eyes on the prize,
absolutely,
I can get there. And we're going to bring some people too. Speaking of that, let's see. Yes, it's time for our testimonial. I'm going to bring her on right now, and this is the time of this that we're going. One thing about the Bridge series is I want people to have. I want a testimonial for the program,
right,
to be here, because I want you to know that I know that you're doing big things, and we have people that's going to say so. So I'm going to bring her on.
Perfect. Can't wait to see who you're talking about.
Okay, setting her as a host now. Okay, here she comes.
There we go.
She comes.
Danielle's been
This is
busy.
Danielle McGee. Give us
Hey.
introduce yourself.
I'm Danielle McGee. I'm the founder of Black Business Boom. And I am actually in my Catalyst Forum right now. I finished my classes with Michael Burcham back in, I think, February. I don't know. April. I don't know. Time is weird right now, but but right now, the great thing about the program is that they put you into a forum group. And I have a great group. It's a small group, but we have really been able to support one another. I go in there with our rock, which is like a thing that we're trying to solve for that month, and get so much amazing feedback, but also networking. Like, I've had one of my forum members has introduced me to like some really powerful, great people. So it's not only, the curriculum that you're getting, which is amazing from Michael, but also the community, and so we've been virtual, but we're going to start to meet in person because we really just want to be in the room with each other, and we feel like we'll get even more accomplished in the room with each other. So, I mean, I can't say enough about the program. It's really been amazing to go through the program. And as Sameera was talking, I was like, yep, I'm one of those people who want to do it again. Because last year was a very weird time, and we were all like trying to pivot and figure out, things in our business and how we were going to survive and come out of the pandemic. So there's been so many changes in my business since then, and a lot of them good things, that have come out of learning from Michael on how do I scale my business? How do I think outside the box? How do I really identify who the best customer is for our business? And so now I'm ready. Like, now I feel like I need to go and I need to revisit this content and do it all over again, because now I'm really ready to implement, a lot of the things that I learned. But there's so much, and it's a lot of information. And so if you are not ready to really be dialed in, it's probably not the best thing for you, but it's a lot of great information that if you are ready to listen and apply, I think you can really see results quickly by being in this, I call it a community, because again, I feel like I found yet another community of entrepreneurs that understand a lot of the challenges that entrepreneurs experience. And I'll leave with this, is that Michael really understands a lot of the challenges, and he doesn't talk to you like he's just like this teacher or this super successful entrepreneur. He really speaks to you from the perspective of a real human being. And so one of the classes in particular, he shared a lot about his background and about his real life, and I think all of us were like in tears, and so it was just great again to connect with real people and to really learn from someone who is not afraid to expose their own vulnerabilities in order to connect with you on a real level. So again, I can't say enough about the program. It's been a great experience. I'm loving my forum that I'm in, and I'll definitely be taking Catalyst again.
That's great.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
mad I missed the reunion yesterday because
you were too busy in Vegas, Missy.
Well, I got back from Vegas 4 a.m. on Monday, and I was good on Monday, and then I woke up Tuesday and couldn't turn my head. And I'm like, well, I guess Vegas caught up to me. This age and this in Vegas caught up to me.
It didn't say.
I don't know how I thought I was going to function yesterday, but I really thought I was, and it just didn't work out that way. But I was so disappointed because both of my forum members were there, and we've not been able to see each other in person. So, but that was the catalyst for us to decide that we're going to go to in-person meetings because we want to be together.
Oh, that's good. Well, we'll have another one.
Yes, please do.
Thank you so much, Danielle, for coming in to do the testimonial. I told Sameera that someone was coming, and she's like, "Who?" And I was like, "It's a surprise." So happy to have you.
Yes, thank you all for doing this. I appreciate you, Erica, for really putting this together, because it is so important that we let folks know that there are resources out here, and a lot of times folks are like just out here on their own. So really being able to expose that there are options out here to support you in your journey, and you don't have to be on an island or in this silo and do it yourself, I think is so important. So thank you for doing this, and thank you, Sameera, for all of your help and all of your support and everything. I appreciate it.
I love working with both of you. I really
Now I'm in class. I'm actually in a virtual class right now, so I'm going back over there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Danielle, for coming. So there we go. So thank you so much for coming. I just really feel like you have allowed Nashville, the business ecosystem, to really understand where they should have their eyes casted. The people within we're casting our eyes towards the Catalyst program, towards the EO Nashville, and how it can be so beneficial to them, to get there. So there's people who are ready to do the work. So if you're ready to do the work, there's an information session that is happening on tomorrow, right? No, the 30th. The 30th.
Friday. Yep.
Friday at 7. No. What time was it?
It's at noon.
At noon? I have it written down here. At noon. And
go ahead.
Okay. And the program itself is 12 classes by Michael Burcham. You'll get a mentor. You'll be invited to events, as well as you'll have 1 year of a forum within the program. This is amazing. Is there any closing words or anything that you would like to say to the community before you go?
I just wanted to stick in the link if they want to register for that event. Let me just grab it real quick, and I will
thank you.
Copy and paste that right in your chat. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. So we welcome anybody who's interested. You can just RSVP, and we'll send you the Zoom link. Just find out if it's for you or not. We've had a lot of amazing people that have enjoyed the program. We got to reunite last night at this little reunion event we did, and it was just so refreshing to be around them. They're such amazing energy, and they're just such good people, and they're inspiring. They all want to learn and grow and be better people, better businesses, and I'm just proud to be a part of it. So I appreciate you having me today.
Yes, thank you so much for coming, and have a great night.
You do the same. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.